Alright, this is video number 4 on my little series I'm doing here on the conversion of my 83 K30 from a long wheelbase to a short wheelbase pickup. If you've been following this, you'll know I've done 3 videos prior to this one. If you haven't been following this, go ahead and check them out. The first one kind of concentrates on some research I did and some advice I got and just different ways of going about doing the frame cut in the middle here. The second one is just basically how I went about and doing it with the cut I used and welding it back together and the diamond plate on the inside and that type of thing. And then the third one I kind of concentrated on what went on the back of this. A lot of the information I came up with was based on half-ton pickups, and there's a little bit of a difference between the half-tons and the 1-tons on moving the cross member ahead and things like that, and some measurements and that type of thing. So third video just kind of covers that. So as far as this goes, the box is on it. This is the second time it's been on here. I set it on just to mock it up, make sure things were going to work all right, and took it off and did a little bit of work underneath. And so now I have it on here again, basically just for the sake of mocking up the rear bumper, the exhaust, receiver hitch, a bunch of stuff like that, just to make sure everything was going to fit and look halfway decent. So the bumper I got here, you can probably see it's a used one. It's going to clean up okay, but you can probably see that little dent there. It's going to have to do for now. When I can afford it, I'll get a new bumper for this one, and then this bumper here will probably get recycled to one of my older pickups or something. So when I put it on, there was already some holes in the frame that were still there even after I had to cut it off, and I tried to capitalize on those. So I kind of set the bumper up there and measured it off where I kind of wanted it to sit, and then drilled the holes in the bumper bracket versus drilling extra holes in the back of the frame. So it didn't turn out too bad. I think it's going to be okay there. So down underneath here I got my receiver hitch, and this is actually a fabricated deal. I had a friend that gave me a receiver hitch to try to see if it would go on here. It was supposed to be for a 73 through 87, but I couldn't get it to fit under this pickup right. It didn't want to clear the rear spring hangers. Now I'm not sure if that is because I cut the frame off or if it's because of the longer springs or being a K30, or maybe it's a combination of both. But I decided I didn't want to cut up his receiver hitch for that, so I had, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 of these things laying around. So I just kind of took what I had. One of them had a real nice set of brackets on the side. They're real heavy duty ones, and so I started with them and then just kind of fabricated my own receiver hitch. It's got the right height and, you know, drop and that kind of thing that I wanted. So once the box comes back off to go to the body shop, I'll take that back off, and when I paint the frame up, I'll paint it up nice and try and get it looking presentable, since it sticks down there quite a ways. So that's kind of the back end. You can see there's one of the exhaust tips. On this thing, I used the exhaust system that was on the pickup when it was a long bed. In a perfect world, I probably just would have started from scratch and started the headers and worked my way back. But this system here, it was in pretty fair shape. The pipe was in decent shape. It's got a nice set of flow masters on it. Had a sound that I liked when it was running before. So I just decided to start with this, and then I'll run it for a while, and then as I heal up from the project, I'll probably put a fresh system on it. But I don't remember measurements or what I ended up taking out, but I basically just concentrated on the center line of the rear axle where the pipes went over the top of it, and then I took some out of the back and some out of the front and moved the mufflers ahead a little bit. So it's tight. It's going to work okay. It's just not a brand new exhaust system. The other thing I might do, I'm not completely positive I like them tips sticking out quite that far. Depends where you look at it. I may trim them up and move them in just a little bit once the box is all painted, kind of see what it looks like when it's all done. But it's going to work for now. It's under there and mocked up, so I know everything, all the clearances are right and everything. So I think you can see right under there's no drive shaft on it yet. I've taken the measurements, and I just got a call today actually from the machine shop that the drive shaft is done. They shortened it up to the measurements or that I gave them and balanced it and that type of thing. So as long as I didn't mess up reading the tape measure, that should work out good and bolt right back on there. Shouldn't be any issues with that. So what else have I got here? Oh, might end up being kind of silly, but I had on hand a used B&W turnover ball hitch, and really didn't have any other place to go with it, so I went ahead and put it under this. I just don't know if I'll ever use it. This thing's awful tall to be doing gooseneck work with. But we do have I don't know, it's an 18 or a 20 foot gooseneck camper that's had the axles flipped, and it's pretty tall, so there might be that off chance that someday it could pull it to the lake or something. I don't know for sure, but I kind of figured since I had it, I'd go ahead and put it under there while the box was off of it. The other thing that's a little different on that, if any of you have looked at hitches for this vintage of pickup, the factory ones are designed, they make them, they got ears on them, and basically you drill through the bed of the box, or the bed of the pickup, and then through the frame, and the bolts go vertically. Well, this one wasn't designed like that because it was it was a center section out of a newer one. So I had to fab it, and I basically designed it like the newer ones are, where the plates bolt to the side of the frame. I had a couple existing holes that were in the frame for whatever other stuff, and I just used them. So it's probably just going to end up riding around under there, to be honest with you, but it's there if I would happen to need it. So no big thing there. So what else have we got here? The electric wires for the taillights are just laying under the air yet. I got to looking the other day, and I think I counted 4 different places where those wires have been spliced in for different trailer plugs and all that kind of garbage over the years. So I think what's going to happen there, I'm probably just going to start clear up at the front and just start with a fresh pre-made 7-wire loom that can come clear to the back, and then I can wire up trailer plugs and stuff if I would ever need them. So I'm just afraid there's got to be a short in there somewhere with all that messing around that people have done. So the other thing, I don't know what you can see it under there, the emergency brake cables are still laying under there, and I honestly haven't researched that at all. I don't know what I have to do with those. If there's another application, a cable on some kind of a long box single cab, or some other application thereabouts that would work for this, or if I'm just going to end up having to shorten these. I'm just not real sure how that's going to work. I haven't looked into it at all, but these are frayed, so something's going to have to be done differently there. So I'll look into that. While I'm looking here, I think those running boards are going to go away. I haven't really cared for them ever since I got the pickup, so I don't know what I'm going to do for sure, but something different than that, I think. So I think that's all I really have for now. As I progress with this a little more, I'm kind of at a standstill a little bit. Gonna play with another project here for a little while. I'm waiting on the body shop to get caught up so they can paint the box. So this thing's gonna kind of be just sitting here for a little bit at a standstill. So, but I'll probably do another video after I got the box painted and have it back on and things are kind of buttoned up and shined up and cleaned up, and give you guys a look at sort of the finished product. So appreciate you watching. Thank you.